Wise Way Learning presents the lecture number 47 to 48 under section 10. This is a complete project management free course from beginner to project manager with 19 sections of 100 lectures. Welcome to the course. Section 10 and lectures 47 to 48, the execution phase, project diary. This section includes the lectures such as Lecture 47, what is the due date of action owner? Lecture 48, how to fill the project diary.
Section 10 and lecture number 47, what is the due date of action owner?
By now, you should have a solid idea of what's involved in a kickoff meeting. So it's time to talk about the action owner due date concept. You can probably guess by the not so cryptic title that it's some sort of project diary to keep track of actions throughout the execution. But let's talk about it in a little more detail. As we've mentioned plenty of times before, projects are complex initiatives. And while we can plan meticulously, the execution phase will still have its missteps if we're not diligent. With so many activities, departments and expertise and people and cultures and new tasks, there are bound to be miscommunications and gaps in understanding. This can cause inefficiencies unless recorded in a project diary. Whenever there are ongoing actions or agreements made as the project goes, the three dimensions to record are what must be done, by whom, and until when. Let's look at them in turn. First, the action or the task. You must describe the task clearly. That way you will avoid giving people freedom of interpretation. Then there's recording the responsible party. We've all come across those tasks that everyone thinks someone else has done and then they get neglected completely and everyone blames someone else. Assigning a person to a task means everyone knows exactly who is responsible for the task completion. And finally, the due date. Humans are notorious procrastinators, both at work and in our spare time. Very few of us can trust ourselves to not get distracted, let alone others. On top of that, we know from the planning fallacy that we are not so great at forecasting the future. Setting a time limit increases our focus. So the project diary is a formal document which states the what, the who, and the when. It is super useful. So let's have a look at what a project diary would look like using the Lamborghini project in the next lesson. Get your project manager shoes on and I'll see you there.
Section 10 and lecture number 48, how to fill the project diary.
Even with planning, the project will change and grow. This needs to be recorded formally, and we're going to use our Lamborghini project to show you how. Alright, so you're holding your kickoff meeting, and Lamborghini's HR manager has asked if we need to hire anyone who speaks a language other than English. This is a good point that you hadn't thought of. The marketing manager is also there, and they confirm that with the expected clients, it would be a good idea to have at least one Spanish-speaking member of staff and one Russian-speaking employee. The HR manager says that it is doable, but the time needed for the hiring process would be around 11 weeks rather than the 8 initially planned. This means that your action is to update the activity, recruit personnel, in your project plan. You are the person who needs to complete it. And as you know this is a task which you can complete in a day, you mark this down too. Something to point out. Even if there is a relatively simple task and you are the one responsible for it, don't assume that you will remember. Because firstly, this can lead to mistakes. Secondly, other people on the project need to know what is happening and to trust that you are being thorough in your execution. And thirdly, this can be a record for future projects where similar actions may help you with planning. Now, imagine you're a month into your project and you hold a project update meeting. The marketing manager shares a problem regarding the activity order furniture and tech with the subtask select vendors, which by the way is line 45 of your project plan. they tell you that the design agency will not be able to prepare the work in the next 2 months as they are over encumbered with other clients. But you have estimated 5 weeks for creating the furniture. 2 months are not okay. Your project is now in week 22 and the construction company is already working on the final stages of construction, the roof works. So, you ask the marketing director to search for another design agency. However, they explain that they cannot help, and it's the finance manager assistant who deals with the vendors. After speaking with them, you set a deadline of 2 weeks and fill it into your project diary. Nice job, project manager. As you can see, projects change and evolve. But with a clear and concise project diary, everyone can see their commitments, and when the project manager is on top of it, there is a lot less room for delays and mistakes. The project diary is a great tool during the execution phase, but since a tool is only good as its user, a project manager needs to be able to manage all the work and people involved. In the next few lessons, we will discuss just how the project manager can do this. Keep in mind, the popular name for this tool is a project action log. So in your next project, use this as the fancy cover for your diary. See you in the next lesson.